Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Test, test, test. Good afternoon, maybe good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you for joining us for the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. We continue our Saturday here at the circuit Ricardo Tormo, Valencia, with the EuroNASCAR 2 category and the driver's first race of the 2022 season. It was a competitive looking qualification session earlier this morning, and we're expecting some exciting racing out of the drivers of this category today. We've got some drivers who've already done a race today in the first EuroNASCAR Pro race that we had earlier in the afternoon. There were a few drivers who double duty. A majority of the cars all raced earlier, and that means that in a few instances these drivers or these teams have had to work very hard to get the cars ready. There are only 20 or so finishers from the race, from the 32 starters in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier, so the teams have been working hard to make sure that the EuroNASCAR 2 competitors can actually get on the circuit. And it seems that in most cases we've actually had that done without any issues, so that's good to see. There we see the car that did some of the best overtaking in the race just gone in EuroNASCAR Pro. Alan Day carved through the order in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier. That car will now be taken over by Christian Malczarek from Slovakia for this race. There's the 64 car. That was the pole sitter in the EuroNASCAR Pro race. It will be started in this one by Eric Quintal. 27, familiar number on the side of that car, the double V racing entry. Patrick Schober, he doesn't actually share the car. He is just racing in EuroNASCAR 2, and no one races his car in EuroNASCAR Pro, so at the very least he knows that the car should be A-OK for this race. This, I believe, is the number 14 car. Now this was driven by Mark Goossens in the race earlier on. Ariana Casoli now at the wheel. And Mark, after the second safety car period, we went back to racing conditions and he just plummeted through the order. It seemed as though he was having some mechanical issues, which hopefully, for the sake of Ariana and the team down at Speedhouse, have now been rectified. Take a look at the moment at the number 40 car. That's the Speedhouse entry of Matthias Hauer. He's another driver actually who isn't sharing his car. He only focuses on EuroNASCAR 2, and so does his pit crew. 33, Paul Jouffreau at the wheel of this car now. It was driven by Cosmo Barberini earlier on this afternoon. Grid is practically exactly as busy as the one we saw earlier. And we are now going to have a look at this circuit then. The circuit Ricardo Tormo has been around for over 2 decades now and is well regarded for EuroNASCAR fighting. 4 kilometers of circuit, just under 2.5 miles, I should say. And 14 turns, lots of braking zones, and we saw in the race just gone in EuroNASCAR Pro that they do find opportunities to overtake around here, so this should be an exciting race. We did also see 2 safety car periods in that last race. Let's see if there's as much drama, let's say, for EuroNASCAR 2 this weekend, or indeed this Saturday. Of course, they will do it all again tomorrow. Like, one of the cars there was crabbing quite badly actually, but hopefully that's not an issue. Of course, sometimes on the oval circuit stock cars do crab, but as a rule you shouldn't see it too drastic on a stock car on a road course. All road courses in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series these days, of course. The pool of eligible oval circuits has gone down a bit in recent years, and that does mean that the drivers can focus on their road course setups and their road course abilities. So I think a few in the paddock are actually quite happy that we are a road course series in the current era. Certainly one should never rule out a return to the ovals in the future, but for now it is a road course schedule. Just over 12 minutes before we have the command given to start the engines of the cars. And yes, I am conscious that the engines are currently being utilised, but they are shut off once again, of course, once they go to the start-finish line. And let's get some more infographics up on screen then. Let's look at the breakdown of how these 2 different championships work and combine. We focus on EuroNASCAR 2. As you can see, there are 3 trophies in addition to the main classification: the Rookie Trophy, the Lady Trophy, and the Legend Trophy. We also have the 2 races per weekend, although they are 15 kilometers shorter than the ones we have for EuroNASCAR Pro. A straight-up qualifying session, no Super Pole, and a combined teams championship, which weighs in on both drivers' results in EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. There is the number 5 car. That is Vladimiros Dziortzis, who set the fastest time in qualifying, will start the car from pole position. Of course, Patrick Lemarie also set the fastest time in qualifying in the very same car earlier this morning, I should say. However, because he exceeded track limits, the time was deleted. You just sort of look as well at the 88 car. Motor racing YouTuber, social media influencer Alberto Nasca at the wheel of that 88 car, the Cal Racing entry. And we saw him driving with a great degree of flair in qualifying. We hope to see more of the same out of him when we go racing in just a few minutes. He starts right at the sharp end too, so we'll keep an eye and see how far up the order he can get. As the 47 car, that's going to be driven in this race by Leonardo Colavita, the exact same driver who raced it in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier. Unfortunately, he ended up with a drive-through penalty towards the end of the EuroNASCAR Pro race. He'll be hoping for better results in this EuroNASCAR 2 event. There's the number 7, the defending champion, Martin Dubeck, another driver who does double duty in his Mustang. And he will be focused on trying to capitalize on the form he had in the EuroNASCAR Pro race, actually. He did very well in EuroNASCAR Pro, was firmly in the top 10 and within the Challenge Trophy podium. In fact, he was the winner of the Challenge Trophy in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier this afternoon, so he'll be looking to build upon those results. Of course, the driver who finished runner-up to him last year has moved up to the world of EuroNASCAR Pro. That is Tobias Dauenhauer, who we saw earlier today with an overall podium in the number 50 Hendricks Motorsport car. That car's being driven by Liam Hasemans for this race. That's the number 3 car that we're just looking through the window of there, the RDV competition machine of Ulysse Delceau. Delceau will be looking to work his way through the order well. He looked good in qualifying. Ultimately qualifying 5th place on the 3rd row of the grid. There is the 88 car, I believe that is, if I'm not mistaken. We should. No, that can't be the 88, can it? Because it's a little bit further down the order, but one of the teams having a bit of a debrief. There's Hasemans. I'm guessing that was actually Colavita, the 47, actually, based on the rundown through the grid. This, though, is Liam Hasemans in the number 50. Hasemans, of course, well-known family within the EuroNASCAR circles, well-known in general. And here we are down on the grid with Andre. Hi, Andre.
Hey, I'm here with the pole sitter, Vladimir Tsotzis. We talked earlier in qualifying about you being at the front row. Now, after it's sunk in that you're on pole position, what is your strategy?
Yeah, the first thing is to have, of course, a good start, and then to do our job like we did until now. And yeah, extend the gap from the guys behind and keep on going until the end.
All right then, good luck. And I know exactly hundreds of you want me to grab a word with Alberto NASCAR. We try to, and take a look at the 88 car by Carl Racing. Let's take a look. Can we grab a word with him? Alberto, almost a perfect start into your EuroNASCAR career. You're on the front row. How happy are you?
Wait just a second. Ok, Manu, adesso ti sento. I was talking to the engineer, ok.
Ok.
Sì, ti sento, Manu, tu mi senti? Anyway, it feels great. I could have been faster, but not as fast as Tsotzis, so he definitely was faster than me. I don't know what to say. I mean, first race, I don't know what's going to happen. I will just improvise and have to overcome. That's what you do, and I hope it will be fun for me.
You know that there are 30 guys behind you trying to hunt you down. How is it feeling?
I just look forward.
Easy answers, thank you. Good luck. All right, if we can grab the a word with another driver. Let's.
Y como país que acoge la prueba de la NASCAR European Series, escuchemos el himno nacional.
So that was the anthem of the United States of America. Here's the anthem for Spain. Dual nationality race.
Ahí está, esperando la salida, esperando a los chicos, escuchando nuestro himno nacional.
So there you go. We are just a few moments away from hearing the command, the famous letters of motor racing. The drivers will be told to fire up the mighty 5.7 litre V8 in just over 3 minutes' time. There you see the Cola Vita car again. And we'll see how he does getting through the order in this one. And here you see the points table for this, both categories as it were actually, both in EuroNASCAR 2 and EuroNASCAR Pro. The points distribution in regular season remains the same. You also have the interesting thing of points for the most positions gained. We'll have to see who climbs their way through the pack in this one. And then of course double points towards the end of the year in the finals over at the Grobnik circuit in Croatia. That should be very fun at the end of the year. 10 best results out of 12 count towards the championship score itself. Of course, there's a long way to go in this NASCAR Whelen Euro Series season. Well, we are just a couple of minutes away, and we heard the steely focus, determination of our pole sitter earlier. He sounded very, very zoned in on the task at hand while being interviewed by Andre Vigold a little earlier on. Vladimiros Dziortsis will be laser focused. Less than 90 seconds away from the command then. I'm sure the fans will give us a big cheer as the engines are finally fired. Should be very exciting stuff. The final celebrations and preparations for the race ongoing. Formation flying there in a sense. And so there's some waving there from some of the fans as well. Great to have a fairly full circuit Ricardo Tormo this weekend. It's been a difficult couple of years from the spectator point of view in motor racing. I think we will hear the most famous words in motorsport in just a few seconds' time. The NASCAR Whelen Euro Series EuroNASCAR 2 category is just about to get underway. Understanding we're going to have the circuit president, Gonzalo Gobet, giving us the command in just a few seconds.
Ya sabe usted que hoy está en su casa, pero tiene el honor de hacer arrancar esos motores. Adelante.
Drivers, start your engines.
¡Vamos allá! ¡Sí! Todo el mundo a la carrera, la segunda carrera de NASCAR.
There we go then, the most famous words said there by Gonzalo Gobert. We also, of course, for the EuroNASCAR Pro earlier on, had Chad Siegler, who flew out from America, the Vice President of NASCAR International. Great to have two very important figures giving us the command here today at Valencia. The number 88 car of Alberto Nasca, the 88 on that front row alongside Vladimiros Dziotzis, the 88 car, and the number 5 on that front row, Martin Dubek and Gil Linster on row 2. Ulis Del So and Leonardo Colavita on row 3. And so then the formation lap is rolling for this race. We are just a few moments away from going 2x2 and getting going here for the EuroNASCAR 2's first round of the 2022 season. Will be a 15-lap race. Here you see Andrea Tronconi, the pole sitter for this one. Actually, no, sorry, in the number 1 car. He's not P1, is he? But Tronconi with the number 1 car is, of course, Dziotzis, who starts on the pole position in that number 5. The number 1 car is actually listed right down at the back. In fact, there is Andrea Tronconi now, just at the back behind this 89 car of Alberto Panebianco. So 32 cars set to take the start here by the looks of it. Hopefully we have a full quota of cars out on track. And hopefully all of them make it through the first few corners of the lap unscathed. Even though we did have a fairly hectic and casualty-filled first race, the EuroNASCAR Pro Race claimed many a scalp. And we saw a few cars in the gravel. None of them actually had incidents in the first couple of corners. Everyone was very positive and abiding in the first few turns, but it was thereafter that it started to go a little bit wrong. So let's see if everyone can make it cleanly through the first couple of turns and then hopefully press on well from there. Certainly the teams that have just repaired their cars following EuroNASCAR Pro will be desperately hoping that they don't have to do the same thing again. Through 9 and 10 they go then, the S-bend, before they go back onto the brakes for turn 11. Turn 11 can be an overtaking move for certain. We'll see whether or not it is one at all in this race. And of course you've got that run to turn 12, which is a bit of an awkward corner. We've heard that from a couple of drivers, that turn 12 is a challenge. Turn 13 is that long sweeper before the final turn 14. I noticed that a few of the drivers take quite a shallow line into turn 14, the last corner of the lap. They don't run it all the way out, which is actually probably quite smart, because the road kind of falls away from you a bit on the outside of 13 into 14. You could quite easily dip a wheel and then end up unintentionally skating off into the undergrowth. So then, it is Vladimiros Dziotzis on the front row of the grid alongside Alberto Nasca, who's the first of the rookie trophy runners as well. Let's keep that in mind. He will be starting from second on the grid on the outside there. I know a great many of you will be watching to support Nasca, who loves to document his racing action, including his fans on his YouTube page on all of his adventures in the world of motorsport. And he is about to get underway here on the front row of the grid, but it's Vladimiros Dziotzis that leads them away. The green flag is on and we are underway and racing here. Great start by the looks of it from Dziotzis into the first corner. Into turn 1 they go, and Vladimiros it is that leads. Does everybody make it through okay? Looks as if they have, albeit with some of them taking to the runoff. Into turn 2 they go for the first time, and it is Dziotzis who leads. The 54 car looks like it's dropped a couple of positions there as well. That's Luli Del Castello. And oh, big moment there. The number 7 car off track. The number 33 off track. We had the number 7 in a bit of a spin. Martin Dubek, the defending champion. Didn't quite see. I was focusing further down the pack as to whether he was involved in a bigger collision. Certainly looks like he was. And oh, pandemonium now. The 65 car is around. That was Benedetti. NASCAR going defensive as he comes under pressure from Alfredo Di Matteo. Gil Linster. Actually, that could be. But everyone making their way through these first few corners, albeit a lot of them already quite battle-scarred. That lovely Golf liveried machine is injured, as well as several others. But NASCAR, Tsiotsis and Linster there in 3rd place have all managed to get through the first few corners without too much issue. So it is Linster there in 3rd in the 56 car. 4th place is Alfredo Di Matteo. Liam Hazeman's rounding out the top 5 as they come across the line to complete the first lap, although battle for 6th place is looking a lot closer, isn't it? Looks like a good scrap going on there, including Martin Dubek trying to make his way back through the order. Dubek, rather miraculously, had a spin in front of everybody and didn't end up being collected. He's now making his way back through the order, and I believe he's already put himself back up to 6th place there. Yes, he has. He's managed to dispatch both the number 17 of Caristo and the number 3 of Del So. So Dubek back on the hunt already. On to the second of 15 laps then, and Dubek has given himself a bit of an uphill battle, but he's already back up into 6th place. It seems to have lit a bit of a fire under him because he's already driving away from these two who continue fighting. Caristo doesn't seem to have an imminent answer to the pace of Dubek right now. Dubek, who I remind you is the defending champion in EuroNASCAR 2, is also running in EuroNASCAR Pro this year. And there's one of the cars that's quite heavily involved then in the collision. The 24 car looking incredibly worse for wear. Christian Malczarek, also Leonardo Colvita, who is all the way down in 30th place now. So Colvita, who started on the 3rd row of the grid, he has fallen down the order. It's a huge shame for Leonardo. 2 poor races in a row, and as for Christian Malczarek, well, that car looks like it's been in the midst of battle, doesn't it? He's going to go a lap down here as well to the rest of the pack. The 16 car is under investigation. That's Alfredo Di Matteo under investigation. Oh, look at this scrap further back. This is for 7th place. And sneaking through there into 8th place, I think, is the 69 car. That's Melvin de Groot up the inside. Ooh, both of them very late on the brakes there. Very well held, sir. Melvin de Groot there and Caristo having a brilliant fight. Francesco leans a little bit on the 69 and stays just about on the solid stuff and holds on to P8 for now. But you have to commend Melvin de Groot there for what was a, can we say, brave attempt at an overtake into turn 2. That was certainly a hardy one. He was either going to get by or have a bit of an incident in trying to do so. 17 and the 69 run through turn 8 for the 3rd time in this race. And now into turn 11. 17 and the 69 as we go to a replay of the start here. You see that Tsiotsis had a brilliant start. NASCAR did well to hold on to 2nd place. Now let's keep an eye on what... Okay, we'll keep I thought we were going to see a little more of that, but it was a little later in the lap where the drama really took place, of course, at turn 4. Tsiotsis in that number 5 car runs through turn 1 for the 3rd time. I make that the 4th time, my apologies. Number 5 Being stalked here by Alberto Nasca. Now, in the qualifying session, Ciortzis was the better part of half a second quicker than Nasca, but in the race, it's not really in the... doesn't really seem to be the case. NASCAR is holding on to the back of this car. Here we go into turn 8 once again. A little bit snaky by the looks of it there for Ciortzis, and the 89 is in. That's Alberto Panibianco, who started towards the back anyway. We've got 2 drive-through penalties for the numbers 16 and 90 cars. The 90 is Advait Dioda, and the 16 is Alfredo Di Matteo. So Alfredo Di Matteo, who's currently 4th place, is looking like he's in trouble. Here's one of the moments from the first lap. Of course, we saw this, and then before that we also had the spin for Martin Dubek as well. There are about 3 different things happening all at once on that first lap. Kind of standard EuroNASCAR Valencia things, really, but there we see once again the rather dishevelled look to the front end of the Golf car. Down the main straight we go once again. And the 48 of Yevgen Sokolovsky, at least for now, continues on. And rather impressed that that bodywork is holding in that skewed position. Number 5 then is still Vladimiros Ciortzis. 2.1 seconds clear now of Alberto Nasca. I was saying that Nasca seemed to be holding on nicely, but actually he lost 1.5 seconds on that last lap. It seems as though Ciortzis has just started to get the faster laps in now. Through 9 and 10 he goes. And he's looking a lot quicker than just about anyone else out there on circuit at the moment. He's the only driver, with the exception of Dubek, to be kind of setting his representative pace right now, although even that, saying that, everyone else has fallen into the 45s and so on, whereas Ciortzis is down in the low 44s. He's going quite a lot quicker than everyone behind him at the moment. NASCAR with more sideways action. All the more power to you, Alberto. You paid for those Hoosier tyres, you may as well use them. Lap 6 of 15, already a 3rd distance, plus number 16 is yet to come in for its drive-through penalty. Alfredo Di Matteo, still out there in 4th place, has got a drive-through penalty attributed to him. He's being hounded, and well, not hounded yet, but he's being closed in upon as well by Martin Dubek, who may soon be close by. Some smoke there from someone a little further back. I think that might have been Christoph Lenz who was smoking a bit, and that was never going to end well, was it? Bit of contact between the 54 and the 1 cars. That's Luli Del Castello getting a very frank warning that Andrea Tronconi was near. Meanwhile, Paolo Valeri there having a huge moment at turn 3. Did well keep that on the circuit, to be honest with you. That was very much a traditional touring car move, let's say, out of the number 1 of Andrea Tronconi. It was very much, I'm going to take the door, hopefully take the position in the process. He's trying desperately any which way he can to get past the number 54. That's a battle for 17th at the moment, with Luli Del Castello holding off Paolo Valeri at this stage. Rather Andrea Tronconi at this stage. Decent damage on a number of the cars around this circuit, unfortunately. One of them just went off there into the gravel. Who was that went into the gravel? We'll see if we can work that out. It might have been the number 3 car, potentially. We'll see when they come across the line exactly. Oh no, it's Christoph Lenz. Okay, Christoph Lenz has fallen down the order. Here's the number 3 car, still in the midst of a battle for 5th place. Liam Hazeman's under pressure from Ulysse Delceau. Hazeman's in the 5th position at the moment. Of course, so many fabulous drivers in the Hazeman's Racing dynasty. Be it the likes of Twan or Mike. And now, of course, the Hazeman's family making the trip across the Atlantic with the Team Haysberg outfit. Fabulous to see that the family really are committing to the world of NASCAR these days, both in Europe and the Atlantic. So the battling ongoing there between Hazeman's and Delceau. We get a replay here once again of Alberto Nasca, the Tokyo drifter. Liam Hazeman continues to hold on to 5th place, having a brilliant battle with Delceau here. Cars 50 and 3 going at it. Great scrap between these two, isn't it? And the number 3 car find a gap big enough with Ulysse Delceau at the wheel. I'm sure that Loris Hazeman has given Liam a good number of tips in how to do well in the world of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, and one look at his record shows you why he is such a good tutor for that. The reigning champion in EuroNASCAR Pro, not here with us this year though. At least not this weekend. Battle for 5th place still ongoing. And Delceau up the inside, good move. Oh, that was wonderful stuff from Ulysse Delceau. What a move, just set that up wonderfully at turn 11. Fabulous move from Ulysse Delceau then to make his position up. And here we go to a replay once again. Dived up the inside. Ulysse Delceau made that look easy there. Number 3 car is up to 5th position now. Already on to lap 9 of the race. Just get the impression that now that Hazeman's has been overtaken, he has to focus on his own race really, because Delceau is just driving away. This battle for 7th is still looking interesting though, isn't it? The 69 car leading the pack. It's Melvin de Groot ahead of Paul Giuffreau. And hearing some tyre squeal in the background. Let's hope that's nothing too major. Certainly nothing we can see on screen just yet, but the battle for 7th continues through turns 9 and 10. Of course, the car in 9th is the shadow of Levi Lintercanto. Melvin de Groot pushes on, and he's coming under attack here, isn't he, from Paul Giuffreau. kind of run does Dufro get through turn 13? I don't think he's going to be close enough into 14. Can he get a good run out onto the main straight? He looked a bit more committed on the brakes there. 10th lap will begin as they cross the line this time, so practically 2/3 of the way through already. Melvin de Groot certainly like to hold on to this 7th position. He fought quite hard to get there, as you'll recall. Let's see if he can hold on to it now. He's got the challenge of Paul Dufro behind him. Waiting in the wings is into Canto and Miguel Gomez in the 46. The 46 car, of course, that was driven by Roman Ionetta in EuroNASCAR Pro earlier. Familiar green and yellow 46 car. Through turn 6 they go for the 10th time of asking. Dufro is once again right on the rear bumper. Practically attach the hood of the 33 car to the tailgate of the 69. They're so close together. Bit deep into the corner there from Dufro, but that might give him a good exit actually out of this corner, and it does. Closes in marginally, but he's not going to make a move at T12. Martin Dubek there in 4th place, and look at him, he's right there now with Gil Linster. The 16 car has of course served its drive-through penalty. Alfredo Di Matteo is now down in 13th place after that drive-through. What that means is that Dubek is coming under fire now from Gil Linster. Dubek was closing in on Di Matteo before he pitted, but with Di Matteo out of the way, it's left Dubek free to pursue a podium in spite of his moment here at turn 4 on lap 1. Martin Dubek is hunting. He's also got some traffic ahead of him, I believe. And these two run line astern into T8. Dubek under significant pressure from Gil Linster, or rather the opposite, I should say. Linster pressuring Dubek. He's running out of laps to do it as well, Martin Dubek. I'm sure he'll be conscious of that. This is lap 11 of 15. Number 40 car being shown the warning flag for track limits. The number 40 car is Matthias Hauer down in 27th. Good example that everyone in the field is pushing hard then. Dubek, though, with a nice tidy run out of the final corner, will be right in the slipstream of Gil Linster. No bump drafting here at Valencia, I'm sure, because they don't want to work together. Dubek wants to find his way past. Dubek with a little look to the inside at turn 1. Defensive there from Linster, but not enough defensive, clearly, because up the inside. And 3rd place, is it for Dubek? Yes! Linster was all over the curbs trying to find a way back up the inside, but it wasn't to be. He broke early there into turn 2. I think he intended to try and get the cut back, but unfortunately Dubek just perfectly hounded the road, blocked the line, and moved up into 3rd place. Next target, if he can close in, is Alberto Nasca, but Nasca is 5 seconds up from this battle for 3rd, so I somehow doubt that Dubek can do anything about him. But what an overtake that was from Dubek. Made it look easy up against Gil Linster there. Linster put an admirable effort there to try and respond immediately, all up on the curbs on the inside of turn 2. Further back, 8 leading the 38 out there on circuit. The 8 car, Paolo Valeri, has the 38 there, running with a fair bit of fender damage to the front left. And getting loose as well for good measure. The number 8 car runs wide as well. The sea was just parting there for Leonardo Colavita. And I think there was an issue there for Paolo Valeri because he's now peeled off into the gravel trap. But Leonardo Colavita now under pressure. Good fat fighting this is. Colavita under huge pressure from Teo Calvé, who of course only jumped in the car last minute. As Celine, the original driver, could not take part, Celine Golick. Also, just behind is that number 1 car, Andrea Tronconi, who's been driving his way through the pack. He's up to 16th, having started 32nd, I believe. Here's a look at Dubek. Up the inside, move is made wonderfully. He nails the apex, and Gil Linster there tried to go off-roading almost to hold on to his 3rd place, but it wasn't to be. Let's see if Linster can respond though. But now it looks as though Colavita has made his way up to 14th without terribly much issue now. He's built a few car lengths over the 15th place runner Teo Calvé. Colavita, who seemed to get caught up in some first lap issues, he was well up the grid but ended up down outside the top 20 after the first lap. He's now worked his way back up into the teen positions. And a big move there from the driver of the number 1. Tronconi tried it, and unfortunately a collision was all that we could get from it. There's another car down in the gravel there at turn 8 as well. Didn't quite catch which one that was. But that leads me to ask, did that move just happen under yellow flags? Because if so, Tronconi could be on the naughty step for numerous different reasons. The overtake was a little bit aggressive, but also there was a car in the gravel, and you'd think that a yellow flag might have been out there. Certainly there is a yellow flag at turn 8 currently. Tronconi up to 15th place, but at what cost? In fact, make that 14th place, because the car that we saw in the gravel was Alfredo Di Matteo, who had come out from his drive-through penalty, but he's done so. He was making up some positions, Alfredo Di Matteo, but he's now ended up in the gravel down at turn 8. I thought that was Di Matteo's car that was beached. Fortunately, I was correct in thinking so. So Di Matteo, who has already fallen out of the top 10 with a drive-through, has now fallen out of the race altogether almost. However, the car has moved, so I assume he's managed to get the car running again. And here is the scrap we saw earlier on. We thought it had reached its natural conclusion, but actually Dubek has not been able to lose Gil Linster. You see just how hard Gil is pushing. Leaders on to the final lap then, as we go to replay, and there's Tronconi diving up the inside. You can just see a car stranded in the gravel there. It was a bit of an aggressive move, and I think someone just went off into the gravel at turn 1 as well. Certainly we heard what looked like a pebble dash, or what sounded like a pebble dash. Hopefully that wasn't one of the front runners. We know for a fact it wasn't Vladimiros Siotzis. Siotzis just coming on to turn 7 now for the final time with a good healthy advantage. And oh, it was a car off, the number 17. Oh, Francesco Garisto, who had a visit to the pit lane. I think he's had a problem with the car at some point, unfortunately. Looks like he's ending his race in the gravel bed. Siotzis, though, with a strong run in this race. He's led from the front of the pack. He was almost 10 seconds up on Alberto NASCAR in second place. NASCAR 9.1 seconds back last time across the line. Siortzis has really been in a class of his own here. Rounds the final corner in that number 5 car, and it will be victory for Vladimiros, the Cypriot driver, with lots to celebrate here in Spain. Congratulations, Vladimiros, on a fabulous win here in EuroNASCAR 2. NASCAR will cross the line for second place. NASCAR eventually only finishing 6.6 seconds back. I think this young man, Vladimiros Siortzis, was driving carefully on that last lap, and I don't blame him. NASCAR took second place. Martin Dubek held on to third. Gil Linster in fourth. Ulysse Delceau in fifth place. Liam Hazemans rounding out the top 6. Had a Paul Giffreau, Melvin de Groot. So Giffreau actually got past de Groot there towards the end of the race. Levy into Canto in 9th, and Miguel Gomez rounding out our top 10. Lots of moving and shaking in that race. The EuroNASCAR 2 field did not disappoint. Lots of interesting racing going on there. But Vladimiros Siortzis really checked out early on and drove away. In the first couple of laps, you rather got the impression he was keeping his powder dry, but then he just kept moving forward while everyone else started to slow down. It was as if his Hoosiers were of a slightly more durable compound almost. More cars across the line then as we approach the conclusion of this race. Lots of podiums to come. We've got the main podium as well as 3 class podiums to celebrate here. So lots of trophies to hand out. Of course, it's worth noting Alberto NASCAR, with that result, also the rookie class winner, the rookie trophy winner. He'll be delighted with that, I'm sure. Really look forward to seeing his content coming out of this weekend. But NASCAR, with over 750,000 subscribers on YouTube, if my memory serves me correctly, he's very popular on the platform. Puts a lot of effort into his content, which is very much circulated around the world of racing. Here's the replay of the start then. And what a start it was from Siortzis. And he managed to hold off NASCAR in the early going. We saw some dramas for numerous cars, including this number 24, Christian Malczarek. He did get back out there on circuit, incidentally, but a lap down. Some good scrapping further back between Melvin de Groot and Francesco Garisto, which ended with a bit of full opposite lot. Car might be a bit loose, but he presses on. And now we see the winning car roll up to the victory lane here in Valencia. I was going to say he will be greeted by Andre Viegold momentarily. Andre's already there because he's just that on the money. Gets the netting down and is just geeing up his man before the interview. He sounded very calm and composed coming into the race, but hopefully he's a bit more animated after this, because that was a fabulous result. Are you intending to catch him in the car, Andre, or are we going to wait until he gets out? I assume we'll wait until he gets out like we did previously.
Yeah, we're going to wait a little bit more. After the celebrations, then we go there.
Okay, yeah, good stuff. Celebrations ongoing, and he's in the car at the moment, the Alex Caffey Academy Motorsport entry. He seems happy anyway in conversation there with Andre, and I'm sure he'll have a big smile on his face. It's always a huge relief, especially when they're so laser focused coming into the race. It's a huge relief for them getting out of the car and getting to business, or realizing they've done their business successfully. Out of the car there as well, I believe that's NASCAR in the background. Martin Dubeck there in third place as well, just behind number 5.
Maybe we try to catch him now. Wait.
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it, mate.
All right, we start with the winner's interview inside the car. We still have to wait a little bit to let you out of the car. Start, finish, win, back-to-back, flag to flag. It was amazing, right?
Yeah, sure. We did our job. It was our main goal from the beginning of the year. We start with a positive result, and we continue like this. A job must be done anyway.
All right, just a few more minutes, and then we have the celebrations on the car.
There you go. I'm surprised they can hear each other think in that commotion and noise. And there is Martin Dubeck, who for the second time here today will hop onto the podium. This time, though, it will be an overall podium for him. Out of the car now gets Vladimiros Tsiotsis up onto the roof, and that's a happy man. Good to see the emotions coming out of the boy now. The Cypriot driver, I reckon he'll celebrate a little bit this evening. Not too much, he's going to race the car again tomorrow, but he's going to come out of this one with a huge smile. And whichever beverage he chooses to sip this evening is well earned, I'd say. The Alex Caffey Academy Motorsport car has served him well on that occasion. It looks like an incredibly well-sorted car, actually. Of course, we saw great pace out of it from Lemery in EuroNASCAR Pro, but it just never quite strung together in terms of either qualifying luck or race form. Got involved in most of the worst of it today, did Lemery, but no such issues for his teammate Tsiotsis. Good, healthy result for him, and all the celebrations. They've got a Cypriot flag ready to go. Excellent stuff. Driver from Cyprus, a nation whose motorsport mark has largely been made in rallying, but he'll be happy with that result. And here we have Alberto NASCAR. Let's hear from Alberto.
Thank you, Alberto NASCAR. Hundreds of fans waiting for your statement after your first EuroNASCAR race.
Yeah, I just didn't hear the question. The music is too loud.
Hundreds of spectators are waiting for your statement of your first EuroNASCAR race.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see so many people on the standings. So many people that will watch the video afterwards. So many people live. I didn't see them alive, but they told me lots of people were watching the race. It was too fast. I mean, in the first laps, I think I had a bit more. I mean, I could catch him, but then I made a mistake because this car is tricky because in every session it behaves different. So you have to be able to understand and predict the car. So I made a mistake. Then I lost him. Then I saw that his fastest lap was too fast. And I said, okay, let's slow down and save the tires for tomorrow. I hope he burned the tires to do that lap because otherwise it would be hard tomorrow.
What can we expect from you tomorrow? What do you think the race will be like?
It depends on how he managed the tires. I think I managed them quite good, but we will see during tomorrow's race. The start is hard. It's hard to overtake in the start. Either I try to brake 50 meters later to pass him immediately and try to block him, or if he has the pace, it's hard.
All right, thank you so much and congratulations, first podium.
Thank you. Bye.
Strategizing for race 2 already, Alberto NASCAR. Good to hear from him. Great to have him in the EuroNASCAR paddock as well. He's a good, approachable figure, and will certainly bring some eyes to the racing this weekend and going forward. Always interesting to get those driver perspective videos out there. The likes of Jimmy Broadbent over in the UK have done a great job of documenting their racing careers. NASCAR does the same thing. Down with Andre once again.
Liam Hesemans, first EuroNASCAR race for you, second in the Rookie Trophy standings. Are you happy?
Yeah, sure. Actually, well, wasn't expected because first race of my career. So, no, I'm actually really happy with the result. And now just building up experience and then see how it goes at the end of the championship. And then we will see.
I have to ask that question. How is it to go into the big footprints of your brother here?
Well, it's way more difficult than I thought because, I come with karting experience, a lot of karting, but I never did actually big races like this, and for sure the step from karting to now this car, you need to get some experience before coming up to. So no, but I'm happy with the result, really happy.
All right, thank you so much, congratulations.
There you go, Liam Hesemans. Great to hear from him. And yeah, as alluded to there, quite rightly, second place in the rookie standings, 6th overall. He'll be happy with his lot out of that race, I'm sure. The rookie standings were completed actually by Paul Giffreau, who finished in 7th overall. There's the discarded helmet of Martin Dubeck, who finished 3rd overall behind Alberto Nasca. You see there the steering wheel removed from the car. As is the case with these, we often see the drivers take the steering wheel up on the roof with them. You see that in our intro package as well. One of the slightly different things about a EuroNASCAR, it's still a proper steering wheel, a proper big steering wheel. It's kind of like muscling a 1960s GT car around Goodwood or something like that sometimes with the sheer radius of the steering wheel. I believe the overall podium are due up very shortly. Almost fell out of my own commentary box there for a moment. My apologies. Vladimiros Ziortzis, though, will soon get his moment of glory here. Eerie silence has fallen over the circuit as Martin Dubeck heads onto the podium. Alberto Nasca taking the 2nd spot, the plaudits for P2. Congratulations to Alberto, who we'll see on the podium again in the rookie class. And here's Vladimiros Ziortzis up onto the top step of the podium. The number 5 car taking the win. And he will be so happy. He looks over the moon now. I think all the emotions are coming out of him now. The trophy's presented. In just a few moments we will get the national anthem of Cyprus.
Escuchamos en honor del vencedor el himno de Chipre. Un aplauso para los 3 primeros clasificados. Increíble la carrera de Martin, de Alberto y de Vladimiros. Es el momento de las fotografías. Para el recuerdo de los 3.
There you go, the drivers then will get a couple of photos quickly, but then I'm sure the champagne will be sprayed. Martin Dubeck's been waiting to spray champagne all day. He couldn't get his race suit wet for the end of the EuroNASCAR Pro race because he had EuroNASCAR 2 later. I'm sure he will now get the champagne out. Oh, it's a bit of a race with the corks here, isn't it? Ah, there you go, Dubeck, the first one to get the cork out of the bottle. He has had more podiums than anyone else on this stage, so that makes sense. Nice self-shower there from Vladimiros Ziortzis, and a very happy trio of drivers on the overall podium. Alberto Nasca looking pretty elated as well. A very happy podium, which is always good to see. course, NASCAR will be back on the podium in just a few moments for the rookie trophy.
Vamos ya rápidamente con el siguiente de los trofeos, el que corresponde a los Legend Trophies.
Sounds like we're going to go for the Legends trophies next, which means we should see Yevgen Sokolovsky take the third step, Miguel Gomez take the second step, and Melvin de Groot take the spoils. Here is Sokolovsky. He looks pretty happy with that one, doesn't he? He's got the golf race suit to match the colours on his car. Very well done, sir. Miguel Gomez jogs out onto second place. Is Miguel Gomez over 40? He certainly looks like he's in good shape, doesn't he, for a man over 40? And there is Melvin de Groot, the winner of the Legend class. Took 8th overall eventually, having a good battle with Miguel Gomez and Paul Giffreau among others. And Melvin receiving his trophy for the Legend class win. He'll be happy to get some good points on the board there, both in the overall and the Legend classification. Up onto the top step for the pictures. Another very happy trio.
Y vamos a seguir con el trofeo de los rookies.
And just heard there from the local announcer that the rookie class will be up next. And Paul Giffreau will be the third of the rookies up there. There he is now. Liam Hazemans joining him on the second step of the podium. Liam looks pretty delighted with his day's work, doesn't he? And Alberto Nasca, a driver who's almost named for the sport. And so happy as well, look at that. He's like, top step this time, I've already had a second. Give me the bigger trophy now, please. Very much looking forward to seeing how he documents all of this on his YouTube in the coming weeks. But NASCAR with a second overall, promising stuff as he gets used to the car and gets used to this style of racing. He could well be a force to be reckoned with. And there you go, the top three celebrate. And NASCAR, I think he's ready to go back to his... Yeah, I think he's ready to go back to his bottle of champagne now. He didn't get a bottle of champagne for the rookie class, but I'm sure the one he's got for the overall will be more than enough. And now I believe the ladies class podium was about to get underway there. And I think that's Ariana Casoli. And there is Alia Kolak coming up to the top step. Just the one of the two sisters getting to race this weekend, but Alia will be very happy to be the fastest in the ladies' trophy. 17th overall eventually, 21st placed Luli Del Castello, and 22nd place for Ariana Casoli, so good results from all of them. And there you go. So I believe that is the last of our podiums, if I'm not mistaken. And one last photo op for the photographers in the house. Great to see another ecstatic podium, of course. As the season goes on, some of the bitterness may set in and people may be a bit less happy with finishing second, but for now it seems everyone's delighted just to be on the podium at this stage of the season. Good proof of concept for things to come for some of those drivers then who scored a podium. And that, to my understanding, is that for Saturday here at the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series event here in Valencia. Vladimiros Tsiotsis, the big winner here today in EuroNASCAR 2. He'll be delighted with that. If you want to tune in tomorrow, we've got 2 more races to come 10:55 Central European summertime for EuroNASCAR's second race, so they have to be up fairly bright and early in the morning. And then the second race for EuroNASCAR Pro is at just after 2 o'clock Central European Summer Time. That will certainly be well worth a watch based on today's excitement in EuroNASCAR Pro. Both categories providing fabulous racing here this weekend. And I'm sure with Sunday still on the itinerary, we're going to see plenty more exciting racing as well. But for now, from myself, Adam Weller, from Andre Vigold down there in the pit lane, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you again in the morning with EuroNASCAR 2.